this is Dr. Yolanda from Healing Point Wellness Center located in Park Ridge, and I'm currently in my home and wanted to take a moment and utilize this time to speak with you about how you can introduce some acupressure points to help manage stress and anxiety and enhance your overall immune system, all while social distancing. So Chinese medicine really does emphasize the connection of the mind, body, and the spirit, and states that when individuals are struggling mentally and emotionally, this might impact their physical well-being, and the physical well-being, if it's not doing too well, then it might impact the emotional well-being. So modern research has definitely confirmed this and has shown how increases of stress may dysregulate or negatively impact the immune system. So it's important, especially during a time such as this, to manage your stress in order to indirectly boost your immune system. So for some people, this might be journaling, meditating, doing yoga, going for a run, but you can also start introducing acupressure points on yourself and on your loved ones right from your very own home. So I wanted to introduce 5 points to you, and I chose these points specifically because they're fairly easy to locate, and the points that we're using are points that I use in my practice fairly regularly depending on the person, and it's just a different mode of stimulation. So in acupressure, we're using pressure as opposed to the needle in acupuncture. So with that said, in terms of the pressure that you want to be using, I like to say use a firm yet gentle pressure. So of course you don't want to be causing discomfort and pain, but some points may be a little bit more tender than others. So just keep that in mind, and if something's becoming a little bit too uncomfortable, then of course ease up on the pressure. I personally prefer doing a nice gentle circular motion when I'm using acupressure on myself, but whatever feels right for you, you can also just press gently and firmly and just hold as well. So with that said, for location of the points, I usually like to find the general area of where the point should lie and then use palpation or touch in order to kind of fall into a little bit of a hole or a depression, because all of these points that we're going to be locating today, they do have a small divot or a small depression that you can fall into and feel. So these are the points that you want to be stimulating. And if you're having trouble finding these points, of course, let me know. I can try to help you remotely to locate these points, or you can also use a couple fingers and make sure you're kind of really getting into that area in order to make sure you're stimulating the point. So all these points I do suggest stimulating for approximately 3 minutes, and a lot of the points are bilaterally, so on both sides, and make sure you stimulate both sides as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first point is very easy to locate. It's referred to as yin tong. In some cultures it's referred to as the third eye, and it's located right in the center of your eyebrows. So you can go ahead and press that and just massage it gently. So this is a great point for calming the mind, and when we say calming the mind in acupuncture and Chinese medicine, we're referring to easing generalized stress, anxiety, depression, and this is also a really great point to go ahead and stimulate when you're having some trouble sleeping as well. So in addition to calming the mind, this point is really great for headaches, especially if they're across your entire forehead, as well as nasal concerns. So if you're having some nasal congestion or you're experiencing a runny nose, you can go ahead and stimulate this point as well. So moving on, the next point is LI11 or large intestine 11. So I'll go ahead and roll up my sleeve here. So in order to locate this point, all you need to do is flex your arm, and then right where this crease goes out to, this is the point that you want to stimulate. So this is LI11. So you can go ahead and press here. I like using my thumb because I have a little bit more control and a little bit more pressure with it. And you can go ahead and stimulate and rotate this area right here. So large intestine 11 is a major point that's used in prevention. So it helps boost your immune system, but it's also a really great point in case you start getting sick and you're experiencing a fever or a sore throat or something of that nature. So it's good for avoiding getting sick, and if you get sick, it's also a good point to be using. Then you can go ahead and locate it on your other side as well. So again, you're going to where the end of the crease is right here, flipping your arm around and going ahead and stimulating this point as well. So like I said, you want to do this for about 3 minutes on each point. Okay, so we can go ahead and move on to lung 7. So knowing that it's on the lung channel, you know we're going to be influencing the lung. So this is a major point to help boost the immune system, but also improve lung function, which is major for what we are experiencing right now. So in order to locate this point, you want to give yourself a thumbs up, and you want to trace your thumb, and it's going to fall into what we refer to as an anatomical snuff box. And so once you reach this point, you want to continue moving right over this bump here, which is the xyloid process of the radius. So it's just your one of your bones here, and you're going to fall into a cleft here that lies in between two tendons. And so another way of locating this is placing 2 fingers right where your wrist crease is. So you just move your wrist around. You see this is where the wrist crease is. Go ahead and place 2 fingers there, and you're approximately in the same location for where lung 7 is. And go ahead and stimulate that point. And then, so of course, like I mentioned, this is a great point for influencing the lung, so just increasing lung function. It's also a really great point for cough, and so if you start developing a cough, also keep using this point. It's also a major point for the head and the neck. So this is great for if you have headaches, as well as if you have any neck pain or stiffness, which a lot of people are having, especially working from homes on their computers. So this is also a really great point to use as well. So again, you give yourself a thumbs up, you trace your thumb down, fall into an anatomical snuff box here, keep tracing backwards over this bump here, and you feel yourself falling right into a ditch, and you can go ahead and palpate that for about 3 minutes. Okay, so that was lung 7. We can go ahead and move on to PC6. So PC stands for pericardium, which is the encasing around the heart. So it's a very major heart protector. So similarly, when we're locating this point, we think about how the pericardium helps the mind and the emotion. So again, it's another really great point for anxiety, insomnia, depression, generalized stress, and especially if you feel like your heart beating kind of uncomfortably in your chest, this is a great point to be using. So this is going to be on the inner side of your wrist here. And to find this, first you want to put your pinky and your thumb together and move forward. I want to see if you can see it well on the camera. So you kind of see where these 2 tendons are. So it's going to be right in between these 2 tendons. So knowing where your 2 tendons are, then you go ahead and put 3 fingers, do it this way, 3 fingers from where your wrist crease is here, and where your 3rd finger is in between these 2 tendons, this is where you want to palpate. So again, this is a really great point for anxiety, stress, and things of that nature, but it's also a really well-known for nausea. It's a really well-known point for nausea. So this is nausea from any cause. So morning sickness, motion sickness, generalized nausea, you can also use this point for that. So again, you locate your tendon. So it's going to be in between the 2 tendons here, and then press 3 fingers down, and where your 3rd finger stops, this is the point that you want to massage on yourself for PC6. And then lastly, we're going to move on to stomach 36. So stomach 36 is a major point in acupuncture, and we can locate this in a couple different ways. So let me just modify how I'm sitting here. So to locate this point, roll up your pant leg. So what I like doing is just starting off in the middle of my kneecap here and moving down to where your fingers kind of fall into a crevice. So this is the level at which the point lies. So similarly, you can also find the bottom border of your patella or of your knee bone and put your 4 fingers down, and this is the level at which the point lies. So usually that lines up pretty well, but just to confirm you're at the right level, that's a great way to do it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a finger there and just slide right off the bone, and you'll feel a nice little ditch here. And so again, you just want to go fall off the crest here, which is the anterior crest of the tibia. Just move out. If you're on the right leg, just move out to the right side. If you're on the left leg, move out to the left side, because it's going to be on the outer side of the leg, not on the inner side. And again, I like just tracing you really fall into a nice point here, and you can even use a couple points just to stimulate this area. So stomach 36 is a major point. It's an essential point for the immune system, and there's actually been a lot of research that has been conducted that shows how needling stomach 36 does impact the immune system directly. So if you're interested in that, there's research out there for that. And it also is a major point for digestion. So if you're experiencing diarrhea, constipation, bloating, abdominal pain, discomfort, things of that nature, this is a major point to use acupressure on yourself. And if you're a little bit more familiar with acupuncture and Chinese medicine and you have some moxa at home, this is a great point for you to self-moxa. So these were 5 points that help alleviate some stress and some anxiety and help boost the immune system. I hope this has been helpful, and please feel free to share this video with those who may benefit from this, and especially at this time, this is essentially everyone. So when you're doing this practice, I definitely do recommend, disconnecting from all electronics, taking the time, and just really strictly focusing on giving yourself some acupressure in order to just really take a break and just be in yourself just for that half hour. So be well, stay well, and I will see you all next time. Take care.